Hello everybody and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be looking at and predicting Scotland's lineup against England, and my phone is going mental. I apologise, I should have put it on silent before I started. There we go. But yeah, Scotland are facing England, at Murrayfield, a massive test for them. Not only is it the Calcutta Cup, which is rugby's oldest rivalry, but it is also a huge game, as if Scotland win this game, they keep a hand in the ring for having a solid season. If Scotland lose this game, then you've got to think it's a poor tournament from them. But yeah, they will feel hard done by the France result, but I think the players and Gregor Townsend seem to have taken the result quite well. I know the board have been throwing the toys out the pram a bit, but it seems to me like the players and the coaches have all kind of just gone, yes, we think we were hard done by, but we're not going to focus on it, we're going to move on, we've got a few more big games to go, and I think that's the way you should look at it. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to have a look at who I would line up. Now, some of these positions really kind of pick themselves. I'm just going to kind of blast through some of it. So, number one, quite easy, Pierre Scruman. I'd argue he's been the best loose head in the tournament. He's been incredible, hot in the first two games, carried hard, he's scored a try, his scrummaging's always been pretty solid. Yeah, I don't think there's been any issues with his game, and he's cementing himself as one of the best props in the world. And I'm quite comfortable sitting here saying that. Similarly, at number two, George Turner. I think he had a bit of a dodgy game against Wales. He kind of got on the wrong side of the referee a little bit, getting that yellow card, but he was solid against France. The line-out's done well with him throwing. Again, I have no problems with him starting. Similarly, at three was Xander Fagerson, someone who, again, his discipline is a bit of question, but I don't think it's been horrible. His scrummaging's been good, his ball carrying's been good. Yeah, great to see. Next up, we go to the second row again with Richie Gray going out injured. It picks itself 4 Scott Cummings, 5 Grant Gilchrist. Again, those two worked really well against France together, and the line-out actually functioned better than I thought it would. I thought when Richie Gray went, I thought the line-out could struggle here because he's usually the main focal point, but I thought Gilchrist slipping in and working alongside Cummings actually worked quite well. And then we go to the back row, and this is where it gets slightly more interesting because there's so many players who have done well. But I have picked 3. There's another one on the bench. So my 3 I would start is number 6. I'd start Andy Christie. I think he's been solid for Saracens all season. He looked good off the bench against France. I want to see him play more, and I think this is his perfect chance to grab that 6 jersey. 7, your co-captain Rory Darge. Again, Darge needs time. He's still pretty young. Yeah, he's looking like he could be one of the best 7s in the world, but he needs more game time. And then at 8, Jack Dempsey. And Matt Fagerson's in with a shout. Matt Fagerson actually uses really well against England, but I think Dempsey just offers more crash ball on the table. Dempsey's a carrying ability, his defending's increased so much better in the last year or so, as well as his discipline. And yeah, and I think discipline's a huge thing for Scotland in this game, because I've said this several times, England can't score tries. They can't. They scored 2 against Italy and 2 against Wales. They struggle to score tries in games where you should be picking up big wins, especially Wales at Twickenham and at Italy away. Italy outscored them try-wise. Italy scored 3 tries, they scored 2. So I think that Scotland need to keep their discipline down to stop England getting the penalties to get the chance to get the points. I think that's how Scotland win. But there's another side to that as we move on to the backs, where Scotland need to score tries of their own. That's why at starting 9 I'd go with Ben White. Again, he's been really good. He took his try against France really well. The pace he's been adding to his game, his box kicking has actually been really good. Yeah. Again, I wasn't awfully sure on him being first choice initially, but I'm growing in. I'm actually starting to like him really quite a lot. I think he is growing into the team. Him and Finn Russell seem to be working really well together. And mentioning Finn Russell, there was really no doubt who's starting at 10 is there. Still the best 10 in the world for me, Finn Russell. Yeah, I do not see any issues with him. He usually pulls some sort of Finn-sane blinder out of his arse when he's playing England. He always has something up his sleeve, so it'll be interesting to see if he brings another level to his game again this time. But yeah, Finn Russell, it looks like it'll probably be Finn Russell versus George Ford. That could be an interesting battle. But yeah, moving on again, player that picks himself, 11, Duhan van der Merwe. Again, loves scoring tries against England, got 2 last year, including, what ended up being try of the year in one of the first international matches of the year. Brilliant try by Van der Merwe in a World Cup heave as well, which makes it even more incredible. But yeah, hopefully he can do a couple more similar massive spectacular tries. I doubt he will, because they are, one in a million tries, but they happen. So, let's hope. But again, I've actually been quite impressed by his defensive work as well as his attacking. I thought that he kept Pinot pretty quiet. Again, when they played. So I'd like to see him do similar again. I don't know what winger he'll be up against, to be honest with you. If I had to guess, it'd probably be Johnny May, but we'll have to wait and see. And then at 12, again, kind of picks himself, Sione Tuipulotu. I've mentioned hundreds of times how much of a fan I am of him, and I think he is incredibly good. Him and Hugh Jones' partnership, the Huey Pilotu partnership, is really good. But I think what has gone under the radar is his defensive leadership. It was fairly obvious against Wales, when Tui Pilotu went off with the yellow card for 10 minutes. Scotland's defence fell apart, for a better word. It really did. And I think you need him on the pitch to help provide that leadership and that thing in defence. And so I think it's a no-brainer to pick him at 12. And then at 13, I would give him his partner, Hugh Jones. Hugh Jones, nicknamed the Blight of England, as he seems to always have a blinder when he plays them. He seems to always score. So, yeah, hopefully he can get another couple. That would be great. But yeah. Now, 14 and 15 is where it really gets interesting, because obviously there's a few players returning. But at 14, I've gone with Kyle Rowe. Rowe, I see people with arguments against Steyn. This is not me dropping Steyn. This is me saying that you can't drop Rowe. I'm not saying Steyn's been bad. I'm just saying Rowe's been pretty good. He was out of position in the Wales game, and I thought he was phenomenal at full back. And then he was pretty good against France on the wing as well. He just got unlucky that he couldn't quite gas it to the line right at the end. But it happened, and you can't really focus on it. But I think he's had a brilliant thing, and I don't think he deserved to be dropped. I mean, yes, he was on the wing through Steyn pulling out last minute. I mean, your wife going into labour is a fairly acceptable reason not to play. there are some things more important, and that is one of them. But no, I think Rowe deserves to start. And then at 15, I would slip Kinghorn back in. I know people are saying play Patterson, but I don't want to overuse Patterson. He is, he's only played 9 or 10. Was it 10 now, I think? Professional games. So I would kind of try and keep a limiter on how he plays. I'm not saying don't play him, but maybe keep him on the bench, and I'll get to the bench in a minute. But I would start Kinghorn, and also Kinghorn's been really good for Toulouse since he moved there back in November. Moving on to the bench at 16, I have kept Ashman. I know a lot of people want Johnny Matthews in, but again, it's more the fact that Ashman's not really done much wrong. He's come on, he's provided a stable base. 17, I've gone with Hepburn. an 18, I've gone with Miller Mills again. You know, I can see arguments, you know, WP Nell's back, I can see an argument to put him in, but those two, again, haven't done anything wrong. I think they've actually been really good coming off the bench both times. They've just added that bit of stability, you know, especially in the Wales game. It seemed to me like when they came on, the tide started turning back to Scotland's way. They just managed to steady it out, and yeah, that's what you want from your bench, is people to come on and just, especially the front row, just come on and help steady the ship a little bit if possible. Then for the backs, I've got Skinner on the bench again. I think again he's been good. I thought again he was robbed of his try against France, his first ever try for Scotland, which actually surprised me because he's had like 45 caps but not a try. So hopefully he can get it soon. In this game would be nice, but yeah, again, not really done much wrong. Solid in the lineouts, good defensive work rate. Then at 20, the Mesh is back, and I think it'd be stupid to miss him out. He's been phenomenal for Edinburgh. Again, had a really good game for Edinburgh against Zebra at the weekend. Yeah, he's Hamish Watson. You know, despite what people will tell you, I'd still think he's probably up there with the best sevens in the world. He's still a rampaging rhino, or whatever people call them. Really, really good. And then we go on to 21. I have gone with a 5-3 because I think that is the best bench option. So 21, George Horn, again, really, really good. Adds a lot of pace coming on. So if, you know, say you're a few points down with 15-20 minutes to go, their forwards are getting tired, bring him on, he'll add some pace when their team's getting tired. It's usually some good points. Then this is where it gets interesting. At 22, I'd have Cam Redpath. Again, I love Redpath. I think he is one for the future. He is still fairly young, but I just wouldn't separate Huey Pilotu still at the minute. And then at 23, I have gone with Harry Patterson. And I think there is a good reason for this. Now, people might be thinking there's no 10 cover. You know, you take Ben Healy out, who's been on the bench for 10 cover. There is at Blair Kinghorn. Now, I know, you know, if you know me, you know I'm not the biggest fan of Kinghorn at 10, but I will admit he can do a job for 10-15 minutes if, say Russell goes off injured or whatever. Please, Russell, don't go off injured. But, you know, you need to think about that. So Kinghorn can fill in 10, Kinghorn can fill in wing. Patterson can go at 15. Patterson can also play on the wing if you need him to. He did that for Edinburgh against Zebra. He was on the wing. And then have Redpath covering your centres, and then George Horn covering your nines. You know, that is all backs positions covered, and I would do that. So yeah, there's my Scotland 23 to play England. Let me know if you want to see any other teams predicted apart from Wales, because that team's already out, so that picks itself kind of thing. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll be back probably on Thursday with the previews when the teams are out. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.